A man saw the same stranger in his town every day for a week. He didn't recognize her at first, but after a while, he began to suspect that she was following him. What he discovered about her was terrifying. This psychological thriller will keep you on the edge of your seat until the very end. So without further ado, let's begin. A man from Oregon named David was going through a messy divorce. His wife, Anna, had left him 2 months prior and was taking their daughter with her. David wasn't coping well with the situation. He missed his daughter and felt terrible about the divorce. One evening, while walking home from his office, he decided to take a different route. As he turned around the corner, he noticed an attractive woman sitting on a nearby bench. She was reading a book, and although she seemed engrossed in it, David couldn't help but stare at her for a moment. There was something about her that he found intriguing. He continued walking, trying to shake off the image of the mysterious woman. But as the days passed, he started noticing her more frequently around town. At first, he dismissed it as a coincidence. After all, it's a small town, and you never know who you're going to run into. But deep down, a tiny voice in his head was screaming, "She's following you." David tried to convince himself it was just paranoia, brought on by his failing marriage. But the sightings kept happening, and it was becoming increasingly creepy. For example, he would be driving home from work and see her standing by the roadside, seemingly out of nowhere. Then when he stopped to ask her if she needed a ride, she would just smile mysteriously and walk away. He even started seeing her at his favorite cafe, sitting at a table with a laptop, working on something. But whenever he approached her, she would quickly close her laptop and look away. This behavior only fueled his suspicions that she was stalking him. Determined to get to the bottom of this, David decided to confront her one day. He walked up to her, introduced himself, and asked point blank, "What do you want?" The woman looked up at him, startled, and quickly replied, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to startle you. I don't want anything." David wasn't buying it. He could tell she was hiding something. Just before he could press her further, she got up abruptly, mumbled something about needing to leave, and hurried out the door, determined to uncover the truth. David began searching for clues. He checked his security cameras, hoping to catch a glimpse of her approaching his house. But they were smashed. It seemed like whoever had done it knew exactly what they were looking for. Fearing for his safety, David decided to contact the police. But when the officers arrived, they told him there was nothing they could do. There was no evidence of a crime, only a broken camera and a pile of smashed concrete. They advised him to simply move on and forget about the stalker. But David couldn't let it go. He was too afraid of what might happen next, so he decided to take matters into his own hands. After gathering all his courage, he returned to the place where he had first seen the woman. It was the same bench where she had been sitting with a book. As he approached the bench, he noticed something peculiar. There was a small backpack resting on the ground beside the empty seat. Driven by curiosity and a sense of foreboding, David decided to investigate. He cautiously reached out, opened the backpack, and found a collection of items that sent shivers down his spine. There were photos of him and his daughter, snapshots of his house, and even his wife's name and address. As the reality of the situation sunk in, fear gripped him. The woman in the photos wasn't just a random stalker. She was targeting him and his family. But who was she, and why? The answer, as twisted as it was, would change everything. With trembling hands, he pulled out the final photograph. It was of him, his daughter, and his wife, taken on the very first day of their marriage. But it wasn't the image that shocked him. It was the woman standing behind them, smiling eerily, and he knew that smile. It was the same woman he had seen everywhere. The woman who had followed him for days. The woman who had broken into his house. It was his wife, Anna. But how? He thought she was in Florida with his daughter. Why was she stalking him? As the truth of the situation finally hit him, he felt betrayed, confused, and most of all, terrified. Anna had never been the same after their separation. Could she have gone insane? Or was this all part of a twisted plan? David stumbled back, dropping the backpack as realization dawned on him. Anna had taken their daughter and was now living under a new identity, stalking him, waiting for who knows what. And then he heard a voice behind him saying, "Looking for this?" She held up a piece of paper, a court order granting her full custody of their daughter. "Looks like you'll never see her again," she whispered, a cruel smile spreading across her face. And with that, she vanished into the crowd, leaving David alone on the park bench, defeated and heartbroken.